Open source developers, this is your moment. Applications are open for the open source zone at GitHub Universe. This is your chance to demo your project, connect with contributors, and grow your impact, all with GitHub support. So whether you're a solo maintainer or part of a well-funded project, this space is going to put your work in front of thousands of developers. Apply now by submitting your project by July 31st. You can head on over to gh.io/open-source-zone to apply. That was a whole vibe. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you're joining us today. Welcome. That was amazing. I was needing a new hype up music. Like I've been playing the coding agent one for ages. So it was time for a change. So hello everyone. Anyone out there has been using Spark? I wonder if anyone here has been playing around with it. Let me know in the chat. Obviously, it was just announced yesterday that it is now included for the folks that have a Copilot Pro license and our enterprise and business users. But 100%, check it out, give it a go. It's fun. It's fun. It's a fun way to quickly prototype things. We always have those ideas that we're like, hey, it'd be really cool to do this, but where do I even start? Whether maybe you're expanding your expertise into a new stack that you're not super familiar with. Maybe like front end is not your vibe and you have this idea, but you're like, how do I even frame that? So very cool, because now with GitHub Spark, you can actually go from idea to prototype in a matter of minutes. If you are a GitHub Copilot Pro user, you have access to it. I think it's rolling out slowly. And folks, huge shout out and hug ups to that team, because they've been on fire since yesterday. It's been a lot of demand, right? So it's a new thing. So we're giving the team a lot of grace. They put out a fantastic feature. I, for one, am so excited for all the prototyping. I'm trying to quickly find something to share with y'all. Let me see if I can find our guests today, their GitHub, so I can show you. Well, everyone in the world is out there prototyping very important and serious things. I was playing with GitHub models yesterday as it was launching. I'm going to share my screen real quick, and then we'll get to our guest. I'm just giving moments. I started a few moments before the hour, and I'm giving folks a moment to just kind of get caught up and come in. So for all of you who are like sharing things that are going to solve real problems, and then there is me. Let me zoom in real quick. But I wanted to play about and see if we could do something with the GitHub models because now you can access GitHub models inside GitHub Action, and of course in Spark, it's all there. So if you want to add LLM intelligence to whatever application you're building, you can do that now inside Spark. So let's see if this is gonna work. So I built up this little compatibility analyzer, right? I mean, this is serious business here, folks. And what it does is it's going to look at mine and Francesco's commits and then give us a compatibility, like what we will be like as a coding pair. This is not scientific at all. The data is real because it is accessing it via the GitHub API. And then it is talking to models. I think for this is GPT-4. That's what's the default when you're using Spark. And so it says productive chaos. I believe it. Okay. It says we could be a power duo. I believe it. Okay. Well, our friction points, Francesco is a mega crack on Rust and Docker. And I'm very less Rust specific. That is super accurate, incredibly accurate, actually. And then it gives us some compatibility breakdowns. Okay. Listen, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I think I'm going to tweet it out because, yeah, why not? Why not? And if you want to go ahead and figure out your matching pair, you can go for it. I just tweeted out the link and you can play with that Spark as well. So like I said, everyone out there is doing incredible things. And if you want to do fun things, you can too. Why not? For the love of code, which is also something we're going to talk about at the end. So welcome, everyone. Our guest today is, you know him, you love him. He's an Italian developer. He tells me he's from the best city in Italy. I don't know if all the Italian people are joining, how they're going to feel about that. But I've been fortunate enough to actually interact with him twice in the past 2 months in person in 2 completely different countries. So that's super interesting how this big world of tech is actually really tiny when you think about it. We all have like few degrees of separation amongst us. But Francesco is a computer scientist. He's worked as a full stack developer for the European Space Agency. Active on YouTube, Francesco actually has a channel on YouTube that I suggest every single one of you go to right now and subscribe because it's a fun channel. And listen, if you're trying to learn Rust, this is where you need to start. I need to get there. He's also in his spare time, which I don't know when this is, writing a book. He's writing a book about Rust and it's coming out this year. So be on the lookout for that. Francesco is an international speaker, a Docker captain, developer advocate, and he is focused on Rust content. So welcome, Francesco. Hello
Ciao.
again. Twice
Hi.
in a week, twice in 2
Hi.
months, twice in a week.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. And no worries, I said ciao, but I will speak in English, so you're lucky today. Hi, everyone in the chat. Super pumped for this great intro, by the way, and great thing. I had not time to try GitHub Spark. I'll probably mention during the talk. And so let's start, Andrea. I see people are ready in the chat. I want people also to interact during the talk, so no worries. I can handle it. So feel free to share stuff, share your point of view. And I'm ready. Hi, everyone. I'm pumped.
Amazing. Okay. And sorry, friends, I was a little bit too excited about my incredible application. And I missed the comments about my echoing. I hope that's a bit better. I don't know. I was having some microphone issues yesterday. Maybe it's time for a new one. But Francesco, if you don't mind sharing your screen, we can go ahead and get started. Francesco, and
right away.
We were having a candid conversation before we kicked off the stream, and Francesco's like, did you watch this talk? Because you actually deliver a version of this talk at Render ATL. And I told him I did not, because I had booth duty and I have my talks that I had to do myself. And I don't know where it fell, but it wasn't aligned in the cards. So what's really great about getting to do this kind of work is that I can invite my friends to come and do the talk so I can watch it.
So that's a hack. That's absolutely a hack. But it is also an hack for me. So I have the current talk recorded because sadly they didn't record this talk at Render. So 2 birds, 1 stone. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so welcome, Francesco. We're going to talk about practical AI for developers. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much. So the idea of this talk, I think it was like 1 year ago, about 1 year ago, and of course it had to be about AI. So I've been thinking a bit about this, and so I ended up with this, trying to do something which can be useful for developers. So this talk will be about AI. Let's get started, and I hope everyone in the chat is here. Wish me luck, of course, and now we can start talking about practical AI for developers. Okay. So this talk is about AI. And now I will spend the rest of the hour to introduce you 100 AI tools you can level up with before it's too late. And now let's delve into the next chapter of this presentation and dash, a non-stressful one for sure. I hope you are ready. Shall we go for these 100 AI tools? I don't know, because on social media, especially on Twitter, I see this kind of posts. They are real posts, by the way. So, RIP web developers. Here are 10 AI tools that creates your websites in 5 minutes. A web designer with a Sander, which I picture. Random Elon Musk post. 135 plus AI tools that you can level up with before it's too late. And all of this, to be honest, it's really exhausting. So having all these tools that we feel that we should learn, it's really exhausting. This is my point of view. And I don't want to say that all the AI tools are not good. Some AI tools are good. The problem is that we see so many tools, there is so much hype. And maybe as developers, we want to spend our time, our available time, building stuff and not chasing just new shiny objects every single day. I'll say that AI tools can be a threat to your job, but this is a question by Stack Overflow in 2024, and I think that differently from Twitter and social media, where people try to scare us, Andrea, there is not a real threat, because so the professional developers do not perceive AI as a threat to their job. And also, most important, there are some ethical issues for AI, especially about misinformation and disinformation, source attribution, imitating a person's likeness, energy demand, and so on. And there are also some challenges with AI at work. And I think the number one is that even if AI can create a lot of code, maybe we don't trust the output. And of course, I'm talking about applications in productions, real SaaS applications. If we are doing just a side project, probably we don't care much. We just want to have fun. But when we're talking about a real job, paid job, real companies, maybe we don't trust the output or the answer by the AI. And also, this was in the original presentation, by the way, and the GitHub Octoverse 2024, we have seen, I would say, a surge in the global generative AI activity, and not just in the United States, but also in other countries like India, Germany, Japan, Singapore, and much more, especially in the number of contributions to generative AI projects, and also in the increase, or about 100%, in the number of the projects overall. So AI is real. It's not just hype. It's not just a buzzword for sure. So with this introduction, I would say, let's try again. And instead of focusing on 100, 1,000 tools, let's try to talk about AI. But in this talk, I don't want to talk about complex models the IDEs, even if VS Code is a good one, or a long list of tools. I want to really give some practical and real-world use cases that can help you for real in your day-to-day work, in your day-to-day process of becoming a better developer. This is my goal. It's very important to understand that as a developers, we need to be the experts in a domain. That's very important. And AI is the tool that amplifies an expertise. So we are not replacing our knowledge about a specific domain. And this is not just for developers, but let's say, I don't know, I'm a biologist. I can have my knowledge about a specific domain can really help me in building applications, in creating a successful applications. This will become even more important in the future. I also would like to know what do you think about this. But we should really keep the right developers mindset. And now I want to know from the people here in the chat, what do you think about vibe coding? I see so many posts about vibe coding. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you neutral? I want to see at least someone writing in the chat.
I don't like the connotation of it. It's been associated with like poor quality of code or like incompetence. That's my only beef with it.
Yes, this is also my point of view. I think I made a post of like, I hate vibe coding a couple of times. But let's go with the definition, of course. Also, some people who don't know what it is. This is interesting. There are different definitions, but if the definition is this one, I don't like vibe coding. So vibe coding is the idea of creating an entire application with a single prompt. So we have an application, let's say, with multiple features, I don't know, authentication, pagination, sessions, writing it in the database, creating a front end and a backend in a single prompt. Is it really possible? Have you ever tried? I would like to know your experience with the vibe coding. Mine has been really not very good in doing exactly this, of course. I'm not saying that I'm not using AI to create code. The problem with vibe coding, I think, is simple, that we give up control. We don't have control of our application anymore. We just let some magic happens and we hope that everything will work. And sometimes I would say it works, maybe for basic applications, but here we are talking about some real world, some production grade applications. And I would like to make this analogy with vibe surgery or vibe piloting. It's not, I don't know you, but maybe I'm too old, but I would not make a surgery with a doctor who is vibe coding through a robot on me. The problem also from our point of view as developers is that we are professionals. We don't want to rely on AI because there might be different models, different outcome. The outcome might change every time we make a different prompt. We should really rely on a solid process and also our knowledge about all these fundamentals and using the existing tools. And so the key is not to just let AI do all the stuff. AI is not a magic wand, but it's this structured tool that if we use it correctly, it can really enhance our existing workflow. I am a huge advocate of keep using GitHub, Git and GitHub the way we all have used it so far. I will die on this hill. And I see Andrea also agrees. And now it's time. I want to give you 5 practical use cases for developers that AI is good at and it can really help us. Also with some real examples, real prompts. Okay, so let's start. The first one, I don't know how many people are doing this, but we can use AI for brainstorming. Even before writing code, we can use AI to generate ideas, to run a feasibility study. Can we do this application or not? Is it worth it or not? Estimate how much time our application will take to be developed. And we can spend some time making some architectural choices before doing this. This is why I don't like to let AI do everything. Also because everyone is different. And AI can even challenge some of our assumptions about this project, can suggest some alternatives, can suggest the stack based on our knowledge. I will never write an application in a language I don't know. Let's do a real example, Manuela. I need to build a real-time chat for my e-commerce application. Compare pros and cons of using WebSockets versus a service. Suggest a basic data schema for the messages. And this is, I think, a really important step. And I see so many people that want to skip this one. But if I'm an expert on WebSockets, I should use WebSockets if I want to build a real-time chat. Do you agree, people here? Or I will just let AI to do everything without me knowing a specific thing? Because maybe for me, it's better to use WebSockets, even if it's less famous, because I know this one. Or maybe I am an expert in Python. Probably I want to create this application in Python. So this is even before letting AI write any line of code. And then this is probably my favorite one, the second one, step-by-step development. And this is basically the opposite of vibe coding. So we can take back control from this single-click app fantasy, and we can ask AI to create a plan. We can. How many of you are doing this? You can let AI break down the app into steps. I see so many people creating applications with one click, not many people using AI to create a plan like this. Create the basic API endpoints, build front-end components, do the DB integration. So I know what to do. And we can, for example, this is something that I do a lot. We can use AI to create the GitHub issues for each step. We can follow the structure plan, and we can implement feature by feature, but we will still be in control. We don't need to disrupt our current workflow. I will still use this process. Am I crazy? Does it sound better than just letting AI to do everything, and then when something is not working, I need to spend some time doing this back again? Or maybe I need to become a master of vibe coding? I would like to know, what do you think? Kids in YouTube. Hey,
I see I see the comments. I think people are agreeing with you. Everybody's shaking their hand, and it's like we don't think about chunking it out, like in modularity. So much of the way the web is composable, right? Like why are we not vibe coding like that? I love this.
Yes. I mean, and maybe you can even change the definition in the future. But I really think that we can still provide a lot of value as developers, and not just let AI do everything. AI is amazing, but GitHub Copilot also, I use it every day. But I think that this is the best one, and this is probably a part that Andrea will like, which is prototyping. This was part of my original talk. So you mentioned prototyping, and so I think AI is great at prototyping. This is what I think AI is the best at. We can get an MVP for a feature. This has never been faster, especially for if we do something which is common. AI can generate all this boilerplate code in seconds if we know what we are doing. And then we can focus on the business logic. And if we have some common patterns, like we know what user authentication is, what payment gateway is, API pagination, JWT, sessions, cookies. But if we know all of this, probably we can build an app really in hours. Okay? And here is where AI is really the best. I will try GitHub Spark in an upcoming live stream because I'm curious about this. AI is great at this task, implementing this single feature. AI is amazing on this. I'm not a huge fan of trying to generate multiple features at the same time because it usually is a mess. That's my idea. For me, it will take less time to create a feature, do the PR, merge the PR, do a commit, and then keep going. Another great use case for AI is accessibility. Accessibility is often an afterthought. I will do it later. I will make the website accessible later. How many times have we heard this or even said this? I think AI gives us a concrete way to fix this. Finally, we have this practical assistant that can really create an inclusive website or application. Real examples, missing area labels, when we have poor color contrast. We don't even have to check a website anymore. We can still do it. Of course, there will be someone who is expert in accessibility, but even people who are not that expert can do something. And I like to make some practical examples again. How can I make this menu accessible for screen readers? Analyze this HTML and highlight the most critical accessibility issues. And just these two prompts can make your website probably 10 times more accessible. So really, we have no more excuses. The excuse I don't have time for accessibility is not valid anymore in 2025. Do you agree? And now we have testing, which is another maybe activity that some people like, some people don't. But finally, we can generate a whole test suite for an app. Testing can be a repetitive and boring activity, not for everyone. If you are a master of testing, probably AI can really empower 10 times, you 10 times. I think it can be used both if for test-driven development or if we want to add the test later in both of the cases. And of course, we need to know what we are talking about. We need to know the fundamentals. We need to know what unit tests are, integration tests, end-to-end tests are to cover all these edge cases. But I think AI can really do a lot here. So accessibility and testing, I think it can really do wonders in this case. Another one is code optimization. When I was working for the European Space Agency, one of my tasks was to optimize an existing code. This is especially if you already have working code and you need to make it more performant. And if you think this might be a nightmare because you don't know, let's say, and I'm talking about, I don't know, having 100,000, millions of requests, and you want to make, that web server slightly better, it's very hard to make tests when you have to do with some huge numbers. And you don't even know if you're improving that code or not. I remember me spending hours, days, weeks on Stack Overflow trying to make a piece of code more efficient. AI is great at this. AI is great at optimizing code which is working, and of course you need to have a working commit on it, but it can improve both execution but even readability. So you can even decide what do you think optimization is. Optimization is not just execution, it can also be make this code more readable for the next developer, make this code more better to read, or add comments. Examples, how can I optimize this function for better performance? Can you rewrite this, for example, using a different framework, using a different language, or using a different library? It's really, I think this is really an amazing use of AI. And so AI can be a practical tool for brainstorming and planning, creating a development plan, rapid prototyping, improving accessibility, automate testing, optimizing code. Who noticed that there were 6 and not 5 users of AI? I would like to end by saying don't be scared of AI at all, and that the most effective developers will not be those who will just let AI do all the job. We still have some job to do, sadly or luckily. But the developers who know what to do, how to ask the right questions, how to use the right tools, and now use AI to build some better and faster and smarter applications, but we still need to know the fundamentals. We still to be in control of our application. So please, let's stop chasing the hype and let's focus on what's practical for our careers. Thank you so much.
I'll have to do the virtual clapping because you don't have an in-person audience, but we can clap with sparkles and stars in the chat. So many excellent points, Francesco. And there are things that you would think are obvious because most of us work like that. Like we wouldn't sit down and attempt to build something in 1 hour that we know is going to take a week, right? But for some reason, when we started using these tools, we try and in one prompt. Someone made a comment earlier, and please feel free to ask your questions on the chat. We're going to take advantage of having Francesco with us here today. Any questions about the presentation, about how Francesco's using the AI? Thank you for using GitHub Copilot. Appreciate you hanging in there with us.
I do.
This comment by Asiel Freitas. How many people are able to convey so much information in a single prompt? There is so many ways to express how an application should behave. And I couldn't agree with him more. Like that's where you start running into trouble when you're writing a long page of go do this.
I mean, this seems the opposite of what we were used to do. Usually, as developers, we try to divide a problem in smaller problems and solve this problem. There is the famous divide et impera, which is, let's say, divide and conquer. There is even an algorithm about this, which is what we should do. We should break a big task into smaller tasks, not having a great task and try to solve that task alone. It seems like that's the opposite direction of what we have been using to do so far. Because if I have to spend 20 minutes in creating the best prompt ever, within those 20 minutes, I can use this time to break the problem. And this is especially true if I work in teams. Because if I'm alone, maybe I can try for fun, to write a very long prompt. But if I'm working in a team, I'm probably working on a single feature, and someone is working on someone else. So I can't develop 4 features at once. This is my point of view, and this is how I think we should work. And I see some people agree with me. I don't want to be a master of writing 100 lines of code prompt. I want to keep using my workflow and just use AI for what? To implement that single feature. That's where the time is shrinking. So probably to develop a single feature instead of using this for 2 days, maybe I can do this in hours, in minutes, depending on that. That's my point of view.
Absolutely. No, you're correct. And listen, what's really funny is that if you interacted with any whether you use Copilot or use Cloud Code or use Gemini, any of the new CLI ones, which by the way, they're a trip on their own. And then you say you want to implement a feature, and for the most part, the way that they attempt to reply to you with the logic of execution is, this is how we're doing it in week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And it's hilarious because most people are looking at it like, oh, no, we're doing that right now. But even the models, because they're trained on the way that we work, right, on the hundreds of lines of code and the way that teams have built real applications, implemented real features, understand that you shouldn't go for the moonshot. You need to break it apart. It's not a sit it down and all. The practical application for accessibility is so big. And this is such an important topic that it's often, like you said, is rescinded to we'll get to it after. Like very, very few people actually build with accessibility top of mind unless they are affected or are close to the issue. Like they have someone in their life that would require a specific arrangement to be able to navigate their site or use their application. So then you're thinking about it all the time. But for most of us, if we're sort of able, we just kind of go about our lives without thinking about these things. So I think that that's an excellent use case for augmenting what we know with AI, because most of us are not accessibility experts. I'm not. Like, I don't, things that look good to me with my eyes and my contrasting. You saw that ridiculous compatibility app is pink and green because those were cool colors. It's probably an accessibility nightmare, right? But using AI for implementation of proper accessibility, it's terrific. And thank you, Devon, for the message. I'd love to hear from folks in the chat. What else have they been using AI for? Besides the obvious, right? To vibe code all these applications. And before I forget, because I have to do a massive shout out that you did, Francesco, to make sure that people are using the tools that not only have made them successful, but the tools that for proper engineering. Please use version control. Sincerely, the entire world. Please use Git and GitHub. Save your work. We're still reading some nightmares. I mean, just the other day, did you see that about, it was a database that was like completely deleted? That happened maybe 2 days ago. It happens.
Yes, exactly. This is why I say, please keep using Git, keep using GitHub. Don't just try to do all things in one go. It seems weird for me that now I'm here on this on the GitHub YouTube channel saying like, please use Git. For me, it has been one of the greatest inventions in the development area. We should keep what is good and then keep using something else. But I'm not a huge fan of just disrupting what is good. Like usually we try to build on top. We have a good working workflow. Let's use AI to implement the single features. It's not time to just destroy everything. That's it.
Yeah, no, you're correct. And folks, if you have any other questions, listen, I'm just having a hang here with Francesco, but feel free to drop them in the chat. I want to ask you one question, and then we'll take a question from the chat. And then for you, because you've been in this industry for a while, right? You've been in it for a long time. What has been one thing that surprised you about your use of AI now versus when, like, say, the hype train was first released, right?
I think I've been one of the
something that
first
changed your mind. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so I think I've been one of the first people who tried the GitHub Copilot. I think it was 2023, at the end of 2023. I was because I was in beta, so I've been using GitHub Copilot at the beginning, and it was shocking at the beginning. At the beginning, it was shocking, like even the autocomplete of a single function. Now it's less shocking. Probably, I think the part of the code optimization, because I spent so much time trying to optimize code, and that was like a real problem. Like, how could you optimize code 5 years ago? You go on a forum and you try everything, and then you hope that it works. So the code optimization part, like rewriting what is already there, add the comments on all this code. This is a great use case. So working on the existing code, because the truth is that we spend a lot of time refactoring our code. So AI can be amazing at refactoring an amazing piece of code once you know what that code is doing. I don't know you in the chat, but I spent probably more time refactoring my code than writing code in my career, because you already have something which is working, and you want, maybe divide some functions on maybe. And this is, of course, great for learning, but once you know it, maybe AI can really help you in refactoring your code.
That's an excellent point. And to be fair, I don't think very many of us are actually building anything from scratch at all. Like, we're all using a base, be it open source, be it packages, we're all working off like something else. So that's a really good point. So it surprised you on the application for refactoring. You brought up a good point about new, I guess, new to you, new developers. And there was a question in the chat. I want to get to it because I think sometimes we also forget that going back to basics is so important. And Maria Escobar has questions about a recommendation for a new developer. So, and this is such a good, important question. Like, if I am new to development, to engineering, how should I be using these tools?
Yes. So, the more years they pass and the more things they become easier and harder at the same time. If we wanted to learn something 50 years ago, probably we need just to go to the university. Now this is more accessible. Now we have too many videos on YouTube. Now people are learning on TikTok videos. I don't know. So now we are overwhelmed with information and everything is easy. This means everything is hard because now how much people are let's say ready to spend the whole evening just bumping their head on a bug.
No,
So
we don't need to suffer.
so this is what I will say to Maria and everyone who is new. Use the new tools, but you need to learn the fundamentals. You need to still to learn the things. So it's similar to what happened when we started to have technical videos on YouTube. Everything is available on the internet, but do you really want to do it? So we need to push on that. Now, if you want to learn calculus, probably you can have a great videos, but how many people are actually watching them? How many people are really interested into understanding what's behind the hood if AI can, write the code for us? AI can write the code for us, but the difference is between someone who understands that and someone who doesn't understand it. That's the real difference. So I would stay super curious and I would not let anything just sleep. Just say I will. So try to understand what is going on. Try to build an application with AI. Maybe this is a bit unpopular. Some people say don't use AI. I'm more soft on this point of view because it might be a bit. Maybe you don't have that much time. Maybe you don't have 5 years to learn programming. You have many things to do in your life. So I understand. So I will not say don't use AI, but don't let anything pass without understanding it just because AI will do it for you, because that's very dangerous. And this is what I will do. And keep building projects with AI. Of course, you can try for fun even without AI and then with AI. So work, you still have to bang your head a couple of times on the wall now to understand things for real, and also understand, I don't know, why the frameworks exist, why AI can do this or instead of something else. Otherwise, you are just another person who is typing a prompt.
Yeah,
that's it.
absolutely.
And best of luck.
No, that's really good advice. That's really good advice. And in a way, we've been doing this. Like, who did not spend like hours on end posting on forums or at the heyday of Stack Overflow? Like, I dare one person for real, honestly, to tell me that they never copy and pasted some code from Stack Overflow. I'd be like, you're lying, because we all done it, right? Now we actually have a more targeted and informed source of that, and more malleable. I think that's one thing that especially for education, I do see a big upside there. Because if, like, say, Maria, you're learning something new, you don't have a pair programmer sitting next to you, you can have this conversation with like Copilot, and then not write it for me, but explain to me, how does this component work? Oh, I tried this, why didn't that work? So it's more about having those type of conversations when you're at the stage where you're trying to learn, than just expecting the tool to do the code for you. So we can't pretend that it's not there anymore. Somebody posted on the comments about how employers now expect you to do things, I guess, way faster. And I'm gonna try and find the comments so I can, because that brings a good point, Mavis. And thank you for being here. Yeah, like now, they're giving you a task that should take 2 weeks, and expectation that it should take you less, because we have all these tools that we can use to take advantage of certain things. So I think we should all make a pact here and just keep pretending things take us long. we tell them it's gonna take one full sprint. You do it in a week, and then you just chill the rest of the time. But seriously, Yeah, obviously, because the way that the industry is shifting, we have to leverage these tools, and it's no longer a nice to have. It's incorporated in our workflows, and we're gonna move faster. It's at the end of the day, I think that's what employers are like. Their dollar signs come up in their eyes when they think about how much quicker they can go from idea to feature and to sell whatever they're selling to their customers. So it's definitely shifting, I guess, the way that industry is expectation of developers is. But we have a big role in shaping what that looks like too. So this is where pounding fundamentals, pounding security, accessibility, good practices, and everything you do, those things can be done overnight. So maybe that task that's supposed to take 2 weeks, sure, it's done a little less with less pain, and it's done with maybe not a team of 20, but a team of 10. But you should still beat all those basics. What you think, Francesco?
Yeah, I think I would say everyone can write code. Okay, everyone can vibe code. So this now tool is accessible to everyone. It's like everyone can watch a YouTube video. Everyone can write. So we are democratizing, let's say, writing code, which I think is good. Now, who do you think will be a better developer? Someone who knows the fundamentals and know what this app does, on a random person who just writes the same prompt? That's the thing, because nobody's stopping me from coding. Nobody's stopping from a senior developer to do the same that you did. Probably, or don't take you as an example, but let's say if we all have the same tool, if we all have the same pen, the better writer will still win with the same tool, right? So this tool is accessible to everyone. So maybe this is the moment to focus on something else, to focus on learning the fundamentals, on building your online presence, to go to conferences and meeting people in person. Maybe this is the time to work on the human part, because the tool is now will allow everyone to do the same. So we are on the same boat. You can do the same. So we just started coding, can write your same exact prompt. Probably you will be better from someone who doesn't know what your same prompt does, which is the same as a junior developer was not as an expert as a person who had 20 years of experience in that field. That's it.
Absolutely. I think folks are agreeing with you on the chat. This copy pasta. I feel you, John.
I know it.
Copy
Also, the
pasta.
spaghetti code has this negative thing.
Yeah.
So. But we also say spaghetti code in Italy, so no worries. You can say spaghetti code.
And Italy, spaghetti code is not a bad thing. It's a delicious.
No, it is.
Thing.
It is. But it is.
Okay.
It is. We have the same, but it's fine.
Okay. And then Michael saying that fundamentals will chime when things go wrong. But wait, things never go wrong, right? Oof.
Yes, things never go wrong, especially when you don't touch the code and we are on vacation. I noticed that when you go on vacation, things they never go wrong. So you just you can just take a break. So that's it, Michael. Absolutely
amazing.
Now go and check your app in production, Michael.
Yeah, and you go on vacation, do that last push as you're leaving on Friday, and then you go, and nothing happens because you're not there. Inbox 0 because I'm out of office. Oh gosh, Francesco, this has been absolutely delightful. I like to ask people play the time machine game. I'll do my time machine, and then we'll close out with a comment, and then we'll let you go off and enjoy the rest of your evening. I know it's much later for you, but for you, and not just on AI topics or your experience with something like Copilot, for example, but period, in your career overall. If you could go back and give young Francesco one piece of advice, what would that be?
I have it, dear young Francesco. So I would like to tell you that stop feeling overwhelmed, because when I got there is a moment when you start learning things for real and then you start understanding what frameworks are, and then that there are 20 different languages you can write API with, that there are so many different databases, that there are so many different technologies. I'm not even getting started with DevOps tools that can be very scary. You can even make you stop development. So don't feel overwhelmed, because I like to make analogies with coding like with the music. Do you need to be an expert in all the instruments? Do you need to know everything about the piano, the guitar in details? No, because at some point you will focus on a specific area. I had this dream of I want to learn everything. I want to learn all the front-end frameworks. And of course I failed, also for a simple reason, because coding is not like math. In math, maybe you can learn all the theorems. In development, things they go very fast. Even if you focus on a single framework, and if you go on vacation after 6 months, that's a great vacation, but probably that framework is completely different. So you can't keep it up. Maybe you can keep up with one technology. Maybe I can keep up with Rust and Docker now. That's it. So that's it. So don't feel overwhelmed, and focus on fewer technologies when you really want to get a job. And of course, our goal is to get our first job. I think once we have our first experiences, I think will become easier. So Francesco, please stop buying Udemy courses and focus on building projects.
Oh, wow. I feel attacked personally by this comment. How many Udemy courses? My gosh, it's like buying
I
domains.
have about 100, and I know people who have more. People who have more. I heard 1,000, so I will stop here. But 100 is still something.
I believe that. That is excellent advice. So find the focus and don't be overwhelmed. You don't have to know everything. And right now, my gosh, if there was a new framework for something before, now with AI, I feel like there is just a renaissance of people that are coming up with ever which way. But it's a tough one. And then I'm gonna close with this very solid advice by Bob James. Bob James, thank you for being here. It's not about what you can do. You should all remember to go outside, interact with people. Yes, friends, we're meant to be social, even for us fake extroverts. As it pains us, we need each other, especially now more than ever. So go outside, touch grass, talk to a friend, come to a live. This is interaction. I mean, albeit virtual, but you're here, you're talking to people in the chat.
Yeah.
For those of you who are in LinkedIn right now, go ahead and share your LinkedIn profiles on the chat. Take this opportunity to network with one another.
Great.
Send me a request. Send Francesco a follow.
Absolutely.
It's definitely the time for that kind of bringing that humanity back. 100%. Francesco, where are you going to be next? What's coming up? I know you're busy reviewing your book.
I'm writing this Rust book that will be out in 2025. I'm currently reviewing this book. I need to go back on live streams. I don't know if I'll do this today or tomorrow. What's next? I have a 10 days vacation in Egypt, Red Sea. So this will be in August. And then in September, I will go 2 times in the US. One for RustConf in September in Seattle, and then Commit Your Code, Danny Thompson. I think I will meet some people in the chat there.
Oh my gosh! I just heard today. I just heard that I'm in. So I'm gonna see you again. I just had an
Andrea
email
will meet
morning.
3 times this year. So you might be the person I will meet more times this year. We are on a streak. So
we have to do something while we're there. Yes. Okay. So you're coming to Seattle.
Yeah. In Seattle, there is a Rust conference, the world event of Rust, the biggest Rust conference in the world.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Also, that's it. And I've been invited to an Italian conference in October while I was in Berlin, that we are developers, so Codemotion in Milan. Another conference in Florence in November. And I think that I might be done. There is a Docker Summit, Captain Summit in, I can't say where, because it's still a secret. But yes. I see some people. Sebastian, are you coming?
I think Sebastian is coming to commit your code.
Okay.
I hope so. And for the folks who don't know,
Perfect.
and actually, let's do that. Let's share the commit your code URL because, friends,
Let's do it.
it's a great conference. It's 100% for nonprofit. Danny Thompson is putting this on with a team of volunteers, and they do a great job. I said this before.
Absolutely.
I knew I was gonna be a speaker, so I'm not saying it just.
Tell Danny that Andrea is giving a shout out, so he comes back and to say,
yes,
wow.
I'm looking for commit your code. Let me find the page so I can share it. It's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And you know, it's not a free ticket. It's $49, but which is I guess an accessible price. If you can get your company to pay for it, even better. But this conference, everything he does is nonprofit. And before I knew I would speak there, I would have said the same thing. It has an incredible lineup of speakers, so it's a great opportunity to come and learn about a ton of different technologies. I feel like he's done a really good job at keeping it super broad. So there is something for everyone there.
Mm-hmm. And yes, Sebastian, you said took some pictures at render, share them. I shared them, but probably you didn't have the link. So DM me, so I'll send you the link to of the pictures. I think there should be some pictures of you, but I think I forgot to send the link. So reach me out. This is also great use of this live event. Andrea, thank you so much for inviting me. Now I watch the recording of this presentation.
Yes. I will give it to you. I want to thank everyone who joined us in the chat. Thank you for hanging in there and interacting with us. Go ahead and give Francesco a follow. Follow Francesco's YouTube channel. I saw someone interested in learning Rust. Guess what? You come to the right place. This is the man right here. So go subscribe to Francesco's channel and be on the lookout for his upcoming book. Francesco, you keep saying it's released in 2025. You realize that's this year, right? Like it's coming out this year.
But we still have some months left.
Okay. Okay, just say it.
Some months left.
Okay, all right.
I'm joking. No, this will be soon, and it's a lot of work, but yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, we are looking at LinkedIn comments, Sakin. We are trying, but we are having really many chat messages. Also, my girlfriend, I think, wrote some time ago, but we skipped her message. So
no, where is Julia's message?
It was some time ago. Ago.
I'm sorry.
She joined.
Hello, Julia.
Yeah, but
it's with a G, right?
Yes.
And thank you for being
Julia
here.
with G. So you can say that she's his hair. I don't know if it's
well, shout out to Julia with a G. Also a very delightful human being I had the joy of meeting. And then, looky here who came by. Francesco's coming to Dallas.
I'm coming to Dallas just for you, Danny. And yes, so I decided to go because I think I'm a strong believer that going to in-person events can really change your career, especially in this era.
100%.
I think I'm also having doing acts on this. Danny Thompson has been some, so I don't know who sent a DM to him, but yeah, we did a shout out to Commit Your Code conference, Danny.
We did, Danny. Danny's like, I was summoned. yes, you were summoned.
Yes. He has an AI notification. Whoever says commit your code in the world, he gets notifications and he joins. That might actually be a good idea.
It's not like Beetlejuice. You only have to say it once to commit your code.
Exactly.
No, but a fantastic conference, and I do encourage everyone who can make it to that to make it, and you get to meet me and Francesco and many more awesome people. Francesco, un abrazo. You're the best. This has been delightful. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I won't get to see you. I spent an hour with you yesterday. Maybe we share the link to that recording as well.
Yes.
Chatting about developer relations, and it was a bit of a roast. I enjoyed it though. It was fun.
I mean, it was on the thumbnail, so you couldn't expect less. So they did have a roasting DevRel, so you knew what was expecting. But I want to say that she did great. I also really admire Andrea for being very transparent on many topics. So you should really follow her everywhere, whatever she's doing.
Oh, Francesco, that's very kind. All right. Well, friends, I love you. I'll see you later. Francesco, you're the best. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you in September. I can't believe it. Thank you for being here.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Ciao. What a guy, huh? Amazing. I truly enjoy his perspective. That presentation was on point with the 6 not 5. I love everyone in the chat that caught it. They're like, wait, what? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of these streams. This means absolutely nothing without you. Like, the reason we do this is because I want to make sure that you're getting not only to interact with amazing like international speakers like Francesco, but create your own community. And that's what the comments are for. So again, drop on those LinkedIn comments. I'm going to try and go back and catch on to some of them. And I'm sorry, like production of one here, it takes a bit for me to like find all the places. But let's go ahead and connect with one another. A massive hug to Julia, the lovely Julia who joined. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everyone's time and support. If you haven't checked out GitHub Spark, go give it a go today. It's really fun. Go build something for fun, honestly. Do it for fun. And I'll see y'all a little later, I think. I'm going to be streaming in Spanish. We might be building an app, maybe using Spark for submission for the Love of Code Hackathon, which is a brand new hackathon that GitHub announced. What can you win? You can win internet glory, which is eternal, apparently. But also, I believe, a year of Copilot Pro and swag and some other fun things. I'm going to drop a link to the blog post announcing the hackathon. It's open through September, I believe. And it is absolutely absurd. It's for fun. So go look at the categories. And if there was a silly idea for a blinking something that you thought you wanted to build, this might be the time. I appreciate you all. Have a great night. I have to close out with my second favorite sizzle reel. Our media team are just unbelievable. They do such a good job. And the music that we're choosing for this is a whole vibe. So I'll leave you with an introduction to the GitHub Copilot Coding Agent, which you can now have your own peer programmer who you can assign tasks, and it's going to create them from issue to execution, testing, screenshots, all in one. Thank you all for being here. We'll catch you a little bit later.
I want it, I get it.